I did my undergrad from a tier 3 college in India that most people wouldn't even have heard of. Yet I managed to get into some of the top UK universities like King's College London, University of Manchester, and University of Leeds for my masters. Here's how I did it. Number one, good but not great grades. I graduated with 71%, which technically is still first class honors, so that really helped me. Number two, the field in which I'd done my undergrad was directly related and relevant to what I was going to be doing in my master's for. And although my grades were not the best, my grades in the specific core papers and subjects that I'd be studying in my master's were brilliant in my undergrad, and that really helped me out. Number three, a decent amount of work experience. I didn't have any full-time work experience, but I'd done a bunch of different internships in all kinds of companies and all kinds of roles. I'd freelanced a little bit. I had a background in content creation, which was again directly related to what I'd be doing for my master's. So employability doesn't always have to be from the master's college's perspective, full-time work experience, but for them to understand, is this person going to be able to find a job? Do they have the skills? Do they have the right background to succeed with this course? You have to have some kind of work experience because, like it or not, top colleges, especially abroad, they have so much choice, and you as a student have so much competition that just decent grades or just doing a relevant course is just not enough. It doesn't even get your foot in the door at these top colleges because everyone has those things. So a decent amount of work experience across domains can be the thing that makes you really stand out. Number four, really solid reference letters. So UK colleges typically need you to provide 1 to 2 reference letters, either from an academic supervisor or a work supervisor if you have work experience. And most students are usually scrambling to just source a reference letter from any Tom, Dick, and Harry that they know. But I knew how much real value a reference letter can hold. So I made sure, number one, it came from a professor that really knew me. And I mean, they knew the real me, and they just knew everything that I was capable of, not because I told them or I hadn't told them what to say, but I had such a close relationship with them that I knew that they could see my potential and they tell the admissions committee the truth. I didn't even ask to see the letter. I don't know what was said in the letter, but I got in, so something good must have been said in the letter. Number two, I made sure the reference was from someone really credible. And by really credible, I don't just mean credible in their field in your home country, but rather credible in the field in which you're going to study and credible globally as well, not just in your home country. Because if your professor is highly rated in your home country, but they've done a discipline which is completely unrelated to what you're going to study, why would they trust their opinion, you know? Number five, highlighting my extracurriculars. Like I said, grades, even work experience, even the college you come from, the background, a lot of applicants applying to top colleges already have that. Then you need another X factor to really make yourself stand apart. And for me, that was things like I'd almost become a professional athlete. I've played sports competitively, multiple sports throughout my life. I did something like 40 model UNs in like a single year. Again, the course I was going for was, international relations, strategic communications, and all of that. So this was directly related, like my model UN experience, to that. I highlighted how when it's a communications course as well, I had a long background in communications. Like I've been shooting, videos, making reels, writing LinkedIn posts. I've done a bunch of internships at, media houses and stuff. So I had those sort of extracurricular professional skills as well when it comes to orating, when it comes to telling stories, when it comes to building a brand, when it comes to speaking to an audience, when it comes to leveraging power of media, and so on. Number six, I really sold my story. This is probably the most important one, and I saved this for last because most students somehow underestimate it. Like I said, everyone applying to these top colleges has most of these things. So why would they pick you? Why would the admissions committee bet on you? What do you have that other people can never possibly replicate? And for me, that was my story. I've been through a lot in my life, I've overcome a lot in my life. How do you frame that as useful lessons, and how do you frame that as potential to the admissions committee? Obviously, it's not a full trauma dump. They don't want to hear about all your sorrows, all your worries, all your stresses, and so on. But can you add a little bit in your sort of application or in your SOP or in your letters, which shows what you've been through, which shows what you've overcome? Okay, if this person can do this, can they not also do the hard thing of coming to another country, assimilating with the culture here, dealing with culture shock, making new friends, getting a job here? Can you be a good ambassador for the college? If you can relate and you can sell your story in a way in which the admissions committee thinks that, you know what, this is our person, we really want to bet on this person because look at everything they've already done, then you're in. Number 7, applying early. I applied as soon as the admission cycle opened in September, and you wouldn't believe how much of a difference that makes, because the earlier you get in, essentially, the more time or the more deliberation or the better your chance of getting in. Obviously, if all of these other things are in place, simply because of the fact that you're one of the first few people to apply, and admissions committees start looking into these applications as soon as the applications apply. So they're not thinking about, okay, how many people do we have to fill this with? Like, do we need to pace ourselves? Okay, are we going to find better people than this candidate? And so they just, if you fit all of these, they'll make you an offer. So apply early. And so those were the 7 things that got me into my dream master's university. I ended up picking King's College London, if you're interested. But that also has an interesting twist because I ended up later dropping out. But that's a topic for another video. So I'll see you in the next one.